two-part question is,
Mhm.
did you think about getting rid of the name ClawQuest? Because I'll say this, I've thought about getting rid of the name Eric Moran Films just because I don't do films, but like that's just my name. But it's like you build up this brand, and now you want to like you're doing stuff. You're not really doing arcade stuff anymore. So have you thought about changing it? And then on top of that, I guess the second part to that is, are you more confident with what you're doing now than like the arcade? Like, are you more happy, if that makes sense?
Yeah, that's a good question. I get that question like all the time because if you guys don't know, the reason where I got the name ClawQuest, a lot of people in the claw machine community is like claw or arcade in front of their names.
Yeah.
I gave it like a little thought, but everybody kind of knows me by that. It just feels like whenever you start a name, you don't really think a lot about it. You just kind of throw your name in there. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people like get names off like their old Xbox Live accounts and then build like millions of subscribers and whatnot. But for me, I kind of already have the name. I thought about possibly switching it to just Claw, like just because some people, like I said earlier, they call me like by my nickname, like Claw. So Claw Quest. I don't know, maybe in the future, but for now, I'm not changing it. And then the second part of your question was, am I happier now with my the content making? That is the main reason I did the switch, is because I kind of felt like I wanted to grow with my content, and I felt like doing the arcade video was kind of holding me back a little bit. And the niche, like the videos I was creating, it's there's so many people making like the same videos. It gets very repetitive when you're making. For you, those of you that don't know, let me elaborate. The videos I was making, I would go off and film videos at your regular Dave and Buster's, Chuck E. Cheese, and type arcades or claw machines and film. You go for like big wins and whatnot. It's kind of similar to gaming, I guess, like playing a game. There's
Mhm.
a cool community of YouTubers that do it, but that's where I came from. And I basically got bored after a while, kind of filming the same old videos. A lot of the titles you see now are like, "Oh my god, big money win! Can't believe I won million!" Like a lot of fake clickbait. You had to
Yep.
do this extreme clickbait to get these views. And I felt like a lot of people were just watching to watch me play the game when I kind of wanted them to subscribe for like myself and the content I was creating. So like my more personality, I guess you could say.
You're gonna have to fill me in here because I know next to nothing about this like niche. So have you learned how to like actually be good at claw machines? Was that like part of what you did?
I would when you do something long enough, you pick up some skill. But there's like a lot more YouTubers that like are so insane at the game, they will win the jackpot and like these games every time,
Uh huh.
so that they'll like win more prizes that are worth more money than they originally spent at
Right.
these games. I was all right, like I was better than average, but like a lot of my friends, a buddy of mine, Arcade Matt, like he's insane. He's been playing like claw machines since he was like a little kid, like studying them and whatnot.
What is the coolest thing you've won from a claw machine or like arcade machine in general?
I mean, I've won like huge, like life size stuffed animals.
Uh huh.
Uh, I don't know. I have a claw machine downstairs.
Okay.
I
Whoa.
bought a long time a double claw machine. So that's I didn't win it, but I
Yeah.
bought that when I was like I saved up. That was like my
Yeah.
big thing. I saved up for to buy a claw machine to make videos on and to play. I probably was obsessed with it for like 2 months, and now it just sits down there
Yeah.
collecting dust.
I
I
was
mean,
really
it's a
into
cool thing. Yeah.
I was really into pinball when I was a kid. Like I used to have one of the like you get like plastic ones and set them up in your house. But I used to always go to Chuck E. Cheese and play that. But like it didn't occur to me. Well, maybe it didn't exist yet because I was like 7. Like there was like a YouTube
Mhm.
community around arcade stuff. Like I wish I'd found that out when I was a kid. That
Yeah.
probably would have been really
Yeah.
exciting.
And that was just like a small interest I had that I kind of hopped onto. There was a few YouTubers that kind of inspired me to do that, but like pretty much there's niches for almost everything on YouTube. Like any hobby that you could possibly find that you enjoy and you want to make videos about, like I'm sure there's somebody out there making videos as well. Like
Yeah.
someone is interested in that. I've heard that time and time again too.
I think one thing, kind of going off what you said earlier, I'll say this: the art. I have a lot of friends who do arcade videos just because it's like I met some people at VidCon, and then from there I met their friends. That's how I met ClawQuest. I'll say this: out of niches, I'll say like the arcade people are the people that I've met personally are probably some of the nicest people. Like they're just a lot of them are really cool. But I also understand when you're talking about like the clickbait stuff. I cannot tell you how many times I don't watch too much arcade content in general, but I cannot tell you how many times I see titles like "We got kicked out of the arcade," and then you watch it and they didn't get kicked out, or
Yeah.
we like or like the worst is people who are, and maybe this is one of the reasons you left as well, but you have people who are making videos where they win stuff, but what they don't disclose is that it's actually their machine or it's their arcade,
Yeah.
and they're winning from that, and it's like that's just so dishonest and wrong. But I mean, what do you think about that first?
I would love
Yeah.
to touch on this point.
Yeah,
That is one of the main reasons when I first joined the community that there was not a lot of that going on back in 2016. I would make videos, playing arcade games at Dave and Buster's. That would be a title, I won a couple Pac-Man, like whatever plush. Like the titles have grew, it's gotten like pretty bad. So a lot of the bigger YouTubers now, and it's really hard to get views now. So I want to say a lot of people are making these videos, but if you don't do that and you stay true to yourself and you don't put a lot of clickbait, like a ridiculous amount over the title, you're not going to get views. You're not going to get money. So if you're doing that for a living, it's very tough as well. One of the YouTubers that's like basically inspired a lot of other arcade YouTubers to do this, I know you know him, is Arcade Matt. I think I might have said earlier. He does a really great job of like just staying true to like himself and not like being honest with the viewers. That at the end of the day is honesty. And a lot of these younger kids, not a lot of them are even kids, like college students and up, it's really like dishonest stuff. They own arcades, they own claw machines. They don't put a disclaimer. It's one thing to say like, hey, this is my machine. They act like it is their claw machine, it is their games, and they get millions in views of money with kids that do think that this is real. And they go out to the arcade thinking like, oh, I could just win an iPhone. I can win. With all the comments are, where is this arcade? Where is this machine? But you also do have to understand some people are trying to do this for a living. So it is very, what's the word? Tough, I guess, not to kind of take the bait and say, oh, let me just put this clickbait title.